We have a lot of wind today, and I'm not talking about Mr. Steve's stomach. It is a windy day here in the birthplace of the English language, which I think you know where it is by now. Yes, of course, it is England. We are back, everyone. I don't know why I feel really excited today. I have no idea why I feel so excited, but I do, and that is all that matters when you think about it. Hi everybody, this is Mr. Duncan in England. How are you today? Are you okay? I hope so. Are you happy? I hope you are feeling good. Today we have a new month, everyone. April is here. Now here in England we often have bad weather during April. We often refer to April showers at this time of year. So normally the weather at this time of year is a little unsettled, and that is the reason why at the moment we are having lots of unsettled weather with lots of wind and lots of rain. We have had so much rain this year. Can I just say, I hope we don't have too much rain in April, because we have a lot of water everywhere at the moment. Today we are looking at some interesting subjects. We are looking at dating. Ooh, going on a date, pursuing a date, maybe a person who you want to get to know better. Maybe, perhaps, there is someone in your life who you know and you would like to date them. Maybe you are looking for someone who you would like to go on a date with. And there are many ways. Now, in the olden days, I remember growing up, people used to leave small messages in the newspapers. We used to call it the Lonely Hearts column, which sounds a bit sad when you think about it. It is a little bit depressing, isn't it? The Lonely Hearts Club, and people would always leave little messages at the back of the newspapers. Young man, mid-40s, looking for attractive woman in mid-20s for meaningful relationship. Please apply to this box number. And then of course later we had the Lonely Hearts Club, which is where lots of people who were looking for a relationship would all group together. They would join together. But of course these days, because we are so highly sophisticated with our wonderful technology, we have dating apps, applications on our phones and on our computers that we can use to find love. And it reminds me, because this week we have been talking about dating apps here in England, because, well, there have been some scandals taking place this week. But I was wondering if in your country maybe you have a certain way of finding a partner or a relationship. So these days, especially here in the UK and I suppose in the United States, but I'm just curious to find out what happens where you are. Do you have some sort of method? Is there a sort of group? Is there some way of meeting other people who might share your feelings or maybe your opinions on things? So quite often, if you are looking for a person to fall in love with, I always say it is a good idea to have similar interests, have very similar outlooks on life. Not too similar, because if two people have the same character, you might find that they will always fight and clash. So sometimes it is good to try and find another person who is slightly opposite to you. So we have applications, apps on our phones, many different ways of finding the love of your life, I suppose. So we are looking at that a little bit later on. Also, if you are thinking of making any plans for tomorrow, then my advice is not to, because apparently tomorrow, again, apparently the end of the world is coming tomorrow. Apparently it's Armageddon. Have you read about it? A lot of people on the internet getting very excited about it, about all sorts of things that may or may not be happening. So there are many ways of talking about the end of the world. Some people describe it as Armageddon, and apparently it's happening tomorrow because there is a big eclipse occurring, and some people seem to think that it might signify the end of the world or some big change. Can you believe that? So we might be talking about that a little bit later on as well. Also, what else are we doing today? We are looking at words and phrases connected to up and down. You might say that life is full of ups and downs. There are many ways of using the word up and many ways of using the word down. We will also be looking at that. A lot of things to talk about today. Did you see the pictures? Talking of the end of the world, did you see the pictures yesterday from Mount Etna? A volcano that is often simmering but not erupting. And yesterday it was sending those lovely little smoke circles up into the sky. Did you see that? Quite amazing. Lots of people were gathering to watch as these little smoke circles were coming out of the volcano. And I thought that was quite lovely, actually, to be honest with you. Hello to the live chat. Oh, we have the live chat here. Hello, live chat. Nice to see you. I wonder who was first on today's live stream. Oh, very interesting. Today we have Beatrice. Guess what, Beatrice? You are first on today's live chat. Very interesting. And then we have Vitas. Hello, Vitas. You are second. We also have, third. You know who I'm talking about. It would not be the live stream without Luis Mendez is here today. Hello, Luis. Nice to see you back as well. We also have Alessandra Diu and Lee is here as well, who is asking how I am. I have had a very strange few days. Now, as you may know, last week I mentioned Mr. Steve is actually off at the moment from work. He's having a holiday and we decided to go out. By the way, can I just say that Mr. Steve will be coming up. Here is your alert, your Mr. Steve alert. By the way, he will be with us in around about 10 minutes from now. So just to let you know that Steve is on his way. He is coming soon. And we decided to go for a lovely walk. Well, we actually took two very interesting walks. We had a nice relaxing walk. And then the following day, we went for another walk, but everything went wrong. And I had an accident. Don't worry, I'm okay. I didn't break anything, but something very weird happened. Something that you only see in movies or comedy shows. But it happened to me. And that's all I'm saying. I will give you a clue. I got a little bit wet. find out what that is all about as well. I have been busy preparing my new English channel. A lot of people are asking for the name of the channel. I will not reveal it yet because it is not public. So even if I told you what it was, you wouldn't be able to see it because it isn't public yet. It would just come up with nothing, you see. But there are some new English lessons, also a new English channel, and I will be the person presenting on there. Excuse me a moment, I need some water. I've been so busy today. I can't tell you how busy I've been. You know what I should do? I should actually put my water into my lovely English Addict mug. There we go. Look, I have a lovely mug. I can drink from this cup. I always say that your drink will taste better if you take it from your English Addict mug, which will be available soon on my YouTube channel, by the way, for those wondering. So lots of things happening this month. It is a very busy month. April is definitely going to be a busy time, I think so, with my new channel. Also some merchandise. You can have one of these if you want. You can have one of these if you want. You can even have Mr. Steve. I'm thinking of selling Mr. Steve, or at least hiring Mr. Steve out. So if you would like Mr. Steve to be with you for maybe a week or 2 weeks, I am thinking of actually putting Mr. Steve on my YouTube channel for sale as well. So here we are then, we are back together again, and if you like this already, if you are liking this, you might say, oh, I like this, then please give me a lovely like as well. We might talk later on about my new YouTube channel because a lot of people are interested to find out about it. All will be revealed very soon. Don't worry, I will not hide it from you. Hello, Claudia. Claudia is here today. It's nice to see you back with us. Thank you, Claudia, for joining us. Valentin is here as well. We also have, who else is here? Inaki is here as well. A big wave to you also. It is a busy one today. We have a lot to talk about. A lot. Very much. Many things to talk about today. We have the end of the world, apparently tomorrow. Tomorrow something really bad is going to happen. Lots of people on the internet are talking about it. Hello to Saturino. Hello, Saturino. Nice to see you here as well. Hello to Charazed or Charazed. Have I pronounced that right? Hello to you as well. So many people joining. Also we have Vietnam. Hello Vietnam. It's nice to see you here as well. By the way, my new lessons that will be coming on my new YouTube channel will also have lots of translations available. So not only will you be able to see me, you'll be able to hear me, you will also have lovely big English captions on the screen, and you will have the chance on my new videos to have your own language at the bottom of the screen. So there will be many ways in which you can improve and learn and expand your English knowledge. So that is it. That is my new YouTube channel, which will be coming soon. Mr. Steve will be here, for those wondering. Yes, Steve will be here in a few moments. I will put it on the screen again. Steve has had a wonderful time because he hasn't been working. And I think, between you and me, I don't think Steve wants to go back to work. I think he likes staying off from work. Nitram says, Mr. Duncan has come up with some merchandise. I have. Maybe too much. So you can, or you will be able to get your own English Addict mug and, of course, your English Addict t-shirt as well. All of that coming up very soon as well over the next couple of weeks. Mr. Duncan, you have 2 accounts on Facebook. No, I don't. I only have one. There is only one Mr. Duncan on Facebook. I will put my address on the screen now for those who are wondering. Now, sometimes people will pretend to be another person. Now, I don't know why, but some people pretend to be me. I have no idea why anyone would want to pretend to be me, but apparently some people are doing that. I will put my Facebook address on the screen now. There it is. So that is my real, that is me, genuine, my Facebook page, facebook.com, and as you can see, you must put it in capital letters. So you must type the address exactly like that. So that is my Facebook address for those who are wondering. And yes, I know that sometimes people do pretend to be other people, but I still don't know why anyone would want to pretend to be me. It still confuses me at this very moment in time. I still don't know why. So that is my Facebook page. And as I mentioned, there will be a new YouTube channel, Basic English, English for those who want to improve or learn or maybe progress with their English learning, and that will be announced very soon. Hello, Huang Pham. Hello to you as well. Thank you very much for joining me today on this very windy but also very sunny Sunday. Looking outside the window at the moment, there is the view right now. You can see we've had some rain, but it is also windy as well, and we've had some sunshine. It is a mixture of everything today, if I was honest with you. We've had all sorts of weather over the past 24 hours. We also had a big storm as well, a very big storm last night. Fortunately, there was no damage at all. Nitram, will Mr. Steve be on Cameo? Now, when you say Cameo, do you mean that website where celebrities give messages to other people? So if you want to have, I don't know, for example, if you want to have Tom Cruise wishing you a happy birthday, you can go onto a certain website and pay some money, and then Tom Cruise will record a message. Well, in fact, it isn't the real Tom Cruise. There is a guy who is very famous on the internet, and he's well known for pretending to be Tom Cruise. But I've never done it. I've never done anything on Cameo. I've never sent personal messages. Maybe I should. Maybe there is a market out there for people who can pay me to send them messages on Cameo, or even Mr. Steve. I think that might work, especially Mr. Steve, because he does have a very big fan club. Hello to Connell. Hello, Connell. It's nice to see you here. Hello also to, who else is here today? I don't want to miss anyone out. Hello to Idris. Hello, Idris, watching in Morocco. I started following you in 2012. Thank you very much for staying with me. 12 years you've been watching me. Thank you very much. I learned using your like and dislike video. Oh, I see. So you learnt from that particular video. So there was a video that I made all about liking things and disliking things. Thank you very much, Idris. It's always nice to get some sort of feedback When we talk about feedback, we are talking about the response to something, especially these days. So a lot of people go onto the internet these days to find content, but also to look at the replies as well. So I always think these days the replies to a post or a message or a video can be just as entertaining as anything else on the internet as well. Irene is here. Come on, Irene. It's nice to see you here. We have Mr. Steve coming in a moment. Of course, he will be with us. Steve is here in around about 3 minutes from now. But first of all, we'll take a quick break whilst Mr. Steve sits down and makes himself comfortable, and then we will be right back. Please don't go away. We have a lot to talk about today. A lot of people love the cows. They really, really do. Talking of animals that aren't very bright, here he comes. I've just noticed. I don't know why Mr. Steve looks very small today on the camera. I don't know why. I might have to make some adjustments. So what happens during the week sometimes, I think sometimes I knock or touch the camera and maybe things change ever so slightly. So I didn't realise that Steve was looking so small. Anyway, here he is. he is back by popular demand from his parole board. It is the one, the only, Mr. Steve.
Hello everyone. Hello, Mr. Duncan. Do I look a bit shrunken today?
It looks like the camera's too far away. Wait there. I don't normally do this, but I don't know why you seem so tiny. It's like you are far.
But anyway, I'm going to say hello to our wonderful viewers from across the globe, across the universe, the known universe, Mr. Duncan. Here we are once again, and you of course have been here on Wednesday. I'm with you on Sunday to try and help people learn a bit of English. So that's what I'm your sidekick, your assistant, your partner in crime, whatever you want to call me. And I love to read the live chat, of course. So I will be looking carefully at the live chat for any questions that people want answered, any comments. And so for people that haven't been on this live stream before, they will know what to expect.
I think that looks better now.
Do I look better, do I? Do I look a bit bigger?
You look a bit larger now.
Oh, good.
I don't know what was going on there. I might have to do it again in a second. So let's join together on the screen right now. It's so romantic. Yes, you look small again. Let me just see if I can work out why this is the case. It's very strange.
Maybe I've shrunk in the week, Mr. Duncan.
Yes. Have you been washing yourself again too often?
Maybe I haven't been eating enough protein. Hello, Idris El Madali. Sorry if I pronounced your name incorrectly, but I noticed a comment earlier. Who is in Morocco, which sounds very exotic to us. When we talk about Morocco in the UK, it sounds like a very exotic place for British people to visit, and I'm sure it is. But he made a comment earlier about having followed your live streams for a long time, and particularly started using the like and dislike video.
Yes, I did a video all about that particular subject, liking things and disliking things as well.
Oh, I think the moderators need to act fast.
I don't know who that is. They don't seem to like me. Have you noticed that? See, I don't mind. It doesn't bother me too much. I've been doing this for 17 years. And if there is one thing I've learned over the years, is sometimes people might not like you very much.
That's true. You can't please everybody, can you, Mr. Duncan? And, well, we don't mind, we don't mind a bit of hate. It all adds to the algorithms.
Steve, don't ask people to hate us. So
I don't want to be loved by everybody.
No, but you never encourage people to hate you. Don't ever say, well, I don't mind being hated, to be honest. You know what I like? I like being punched in the face as well, if you want to. So don't encourage people to do that. I wouldn't rather that happened, if I was honest with you. Anyway, he doesn't like me. I get the feeling he might not like me. I also have a feeling I know who it is. Yeah,
the blue city of Morocco. I won't even attempt to pronounce that, but it sounds very exotic. And maybe one day we'll be able to visit. But there you go. So what are we talking about today, Mr. Duncan?
Oh, God, I hate it when you say that. Well, I've already told you about some of the things we're talking about, but you weren't watching, you see, so I'm going to tell you now.
I was in the garden working hard, Mr. Duncan.
Okay, anyway, no one cares about that.
I was just telling you. What they care about
is what we're doing today, which is what I'm going to tell you now. Here we go. We're talking about big subjects. Apparently, the world is going to end. Oh, did you see that? Oh, my goodness. What was that?
What was that, Mr. Duncan?
I think it may have been something heading towards the Earth. Did you see that?
No.
Oh, my God, there it is. Oh, dear.
Oh, Mr. Duncan. What was that, Mr. Duncan? I'm scared. What's going to happen?
Are you scared, are you? Don't be scared, Mr. Steve. it's only on the internet. It's not real. But apparently, a lot of people believe that tomorrow the world is going to come to an end. So if you've made any plans for tomorrow, I would just stay in bed, because apparently the world is coming to an end. Tomorrow there is an eclipse taking place. I'm sure you've heard about it.
I have. I don't think we can see it here, can we, Mr. Duncan?
No, not here. It's over the United States. And of course, as you know, everyone in the USA is slightly crazy. Yes. And a lot of people now think that tomorrow something bad is going to happen because there is a solar eclipse. So the sun will vanish for a few moments and then come back. And apparently during that time, something really horrible is going to happen, according to people on Twitter. And yes, I do call it Twitter, because that's what it's called, you see. It's called Twitter. As far as I'm concerned, Twitter is Twitter. Not X, it's Twitter. So I will still call it Twitter, even though it isn't anymore. So there are some crazy people now on Twitter. Let's face it, most people on Twitter are completely crazy. I nearly swore then. I nearly said something naughty then. Wouldn't that be amazing?
You wouldn't be the first today.
And apparently the world is coming to an end. So do you have any plans for tomorrow, Mr. Steve, as the end of the world comes?
I'm working tomorrow. So, yes, if my time comes, I shall be out on the road seeing customers.
Well, apparently it's going to be everyone's time.
That's what I mean, yeah, yes. So, yes, the moon is coming between the Earth and the Sun.
Yeah.
And it's going to completely block out the sun in America. And is it certain latitudes, or is it just in America?
Well, it always is. So the eclipse is not always fully visible in every part of the world. It just depends where you are at that certain time. So the path of the eclipse will go over the United States. And of course, everyone at the moment is coming up with their own conspiracy theories, as they often do on the internet. You know my feelings about the internet. It's a wonderful thing, but also it's full of crazy people as well. So a lot of people do believe that tomorrow the world is coming to an end. It isn't, by the way. I think this time next week we will still be here talking to you about the English language and getting excited about all sorts of things. Idris says the end of times. Now, of course, I think in many religions, Steve, we have this premonition, or this sort of looking forward in time and saying that one day the earth will come to an end in some dramatic way. But apparently it's happening tomorrow. I don't know what time exactly.
It's just an eclipse. There's an eclipse somewhere every week somewhere around the world, isn't there, apparently? But not a full eclipse. To get a full eclipse is quite rare.
Yes.
In fact, I don't think when did we last? We've never had one in the UK. I don't remember ever having a full eclipse.
I filmed one once.
Did
Do you remember when I filmed one?
Was that a partial eclipse?
I think it was a partial eclipse, not full. But it is weird when it happens, because everything, it all goes dark. It's like night time arrives for a few moments. And I always remember when it happened here, because all the street lights came on outside. It was very weird. And then when the sun returned, of course, the street lights went off. But it was very strange indeed. So tomorrow, the end of the world, even though over the years... Now, I remember, Steve, growing up, there used to be people walking around with signs saying that the end is near, like that guy there on the screen, you see. So he is telling us all that the end is near. I don't think it is, though. I think we'll be all right.
I think we'll be all right.
We'll be okay. Don't worry about it.
Alessandra asks, how do you pronounce that word? It's Greenwich. Greenwich.
Yes.
It looks like Greenwich. It's a place near London, isn't it?
It is the place where the meridian crosses.
That's it.
From yesterday to today. So that transition from one day to the next, the meridian line runs right through Greenwich.
0 longitude, Greenwich Mean Time. Yes, so yeah, it's pronounced Greenwich.
Yes.
And you can say it as well, Mr. Duncan.
Well, at the moment, we have British summertime, and then there is Greenwich Mean Time. But it's interesting how that particular part of the world, that little spot in London, is the place where today and tomorrow occur. Isn't it weird?
Yes, it's strange because that word there, you don't pronounce the two E's. You only pronounce one E, and the W is silent.
What are you talking about?
Greenwich.
Oh, I see.
So it's really the phonetic way would be Greenich.
Greenwich. Yes.
It's not green. It looks like it's Greenwich.
Yes.
But of course it isn't. It's just one of those funny things. There's no rules there. You just have to know it. There's no English rule, I don't think, is there, Mr. Duncan, there?
Well, it's like Leicester. The town, Leicester. That is also spelt in a very strange way. But you don't pronounce it. So Leicester, it looks like, or Leicester. But in fact it's Leicester. So there are many places in the UK that are pronounced differently to how they're written. And it can be very confusing. Southwark is another one. Southwark, a district of London as well. And quite often people will say Southwark, because that is how it's spelt. But it's not pronounced like that. Southwark. So yes, it can be confusing. It can be very, very, very confusing. We had a very interesting week, didn't we, Steve? Because we went for a lovely walk.
Yes, it was an eventful walk.
Yes, well, we had a nice walk, and then the following day we had a walk somewhere else, and I had a little accident. I managed, don't ask me how, because it's a long story, but I managed to fall into a stream. I fell. And the reason why I fell is because when we went to this particular place, it was very windy, and there were lots of people there, weren't there, Steve?
Yes, there were lots of people there, and of course, don't forget you've hurt your back. It's still very painful, and yes, I wasn't there. Mr. Duncan was filming at some point, not at that particular moment, and I walked off ahead because I was bored. I walked ahead, and then I thought, where's Mr. Duncan? Where is Mr. Duncan? He's been a long time. He can't have been filming for this long. So I looked back, and there I could see this figure staggering, literally staggering, towards me, about 100 yards away, 100 metres away.
Well, make your mind up.
Well, it's 100 metres, I would say. No, not 100 metres.
Yes.
Anyway.
Yes.
Yeah, about 100 metres away. And looking very forlorn. Forlorn. There's a good word for you.
Is there a short version of this?
A forlorn. If somebody's forlorn, they look upset. Visibly, physically, they look upset. And I ran towards Mr. Duncan.
Ran? I don't think you ran.
I walked at a fast pace
you just
towards
walked towards me and asked me what was wrong.
And you said that you'd just fallen over into a stream.
I fell into the stream because it was windy, and as I was walking along, there was a woman with a baby, and she was carrying some of its clothes. One item of clothing was a small coat. So imagine a small coat for a baby. And it was windy, and the wind, this is so strange how it happened, the wind caught the coat and it flew towards me. It gave me a surprise. I tried to catch it because it was coming towards me. So it was just the reaction. And I stepped back and I stumbled, and then I fell into the stream. There was a very deep edge that went into the stream. When I talk about stream, I mean flowing river or a flowing flowing water. So not this stream that you're watching now, a very different stream. But I fell in and I hurt myself slightly, not too bad. I was a bit worried though because my back is still bad. But I didn't injure my back. If anything, I think I may have repaired it slightly. And this woman came over and she was saying, Are you okay down there? Are you all right? And she helped me out.
It was very windy.
Yeah.
So when I found Mr. Duncan, he'd injured his hand and he was wet all on one side. So, yes, thank you, Vitas.
Okay, Steve, stay with the story.
Yes, so you were, but luckily, no injuries.
No.
You hadn't been injured. You could have broken your hand. You scratched your ring.
Oh, yes. I have to say, it was very painful. Oh, you mean this ring? Yes, I've got a little scratch now on my ring where I caught it on the rocks as I fell. So it wasn't very nice. Anyway, I fell into the stream. I got wet. One of my legs was wet, and I had to walk along. Mr. Steve he just walked off and left me. So there I was, lying in the stream, getting wet, slightly injured, and Steve was just walking off. He was just walking. He didn't even notice any of that happened. So it was rather a strange situation, to say the least. Anyway, I'm all right.
You survived.
I'm no bones broken, nothing bruised. All I have is a scratched ring. So my ring is a little bit scratched.
Thank you again, Vitas. We all know why, and we all know what's going on, but thank you very much.
Okay, Steve, that's good. Whatever you're on about. I don't know what you're talking about, by the way.
Well, you can read it later and find out.
Okay, then that's great. This is good for this current moment. Anyway, today, Steve, we are looking at up and down words, phrases that can be used to describe up and down. And there are many idioms, many phrases, many expressions that can be used in English. Now, we were talking earlier about celebrities who give messages to people, send messages. Have you seen these sites, Steve? One of them is called Cameo. And apparently there are celebrities, film stars, and they will give or they will record a message especially for you, but all you have to do is pay them. And apparently some of these messages are so expensive, maybe hundreds of dollars. If the person is very famous, then you have to pay a lot of money. And I was thinking maybe we could get in on that action somehow. Maybe we could go on to Cameo and we could give our own personal messages to people if it's their birthday, for example. So maybe you could do it for some people, and maybe I could do it for others. Of course, mine would be more expensive. Of course. You know, probably the same price as Jean-Claude Van Damme or Steven Seagal, something like that, that sort of level of fame.
Maybe we can impersonate somebody famous and then or pretend that we're somebody famous and then offer to give messages. Anyway, yes, no, I don't think we'll be on there, Mr. Duncan. We're not famous enough.
Well, we might be. That's it, you see.
Maybe.
We might be. We might not even realise it. There might be a whole thing that we've not discovered yet that we could be a part of. Who knows? Who knows? I mean, we have merchandise now. Look at that. Do you like that, Mr. Steve? Do you like my big mug?
That looks beautiful, Mr. Duncan.
It is. I bet you wish you had one of those, Steve.
I do, actually. Have you got anything interesting in that mug, Mr. Duncan? Are you drinking anything interesting? Anything alcoholic?
No, it's water.
It's just water.
Just water to keep my poor dry throat going for as long as possible. Thank you very much for joining us today, by the way. I never say it enough that you are giving some of your time to listen to us chatting away.
Idris says we're famous in Morocco.
Oh.
And talking of Morocco, guess who's going to Morocco in June?
I don't know.
Ah, well, yes, we have a fan who is off to that country that I just mentioned in June.
The country you just mentioned, which country is that?
The live stream's gone a bit weird at the moment. Francesca is visiting Romania in June.
I thought you said Morocco.
Yeah, I'm getting all mixed up, Mr. Duncan. I'm getting all mixed up. Maybe my blood sugar's gone low. Yes, that's it. Yes, exactly. So forget everything I said. Delete the last 30 seconds and start again.
I think I might delete the past half an hour.
But Francesca is going to Morocco in
So-
June. When are you going in June? Because, we've got plans in June. Please let us know when you're going to June,
But at
Francesca.
the moment, Steve, we don't have any plans in June. But maybe we should start thinking about having some plans in June, or else we won't be able to make any plans in June because everywhere will be full. and
When you're
taken.
going, Francesca, let us know because we might have to plan things around you.
Apparently there's somebody on Facebook pretending to be me.
Well, you must be famous then if someone's pretending to be you.
Why, though? Why would anyone pretend to be me?
Saturino says, can we find your mug on Amazon?
Not yet. It isn't available on Amazon. In fact, this mug is not available anywhere yet, but it will soon be available on my YouTube channel. There will be a little shop underneath my videos, and you will be able to get your own Mr. Duncan mug. And, of course, Steve, not only that, but also you will be able to have your own English Addict T-shirt. And I'm hoping Mr. Steve will buy one as well. So we can both have.
You would hope I'd get a free one, wouldn't you? Working for you for free.
No.
I don't get paid for this.
You have to pay for it like everyone else.
Great.
Another interesting thing we're talking about today in a few moments is dating. And I remember growing up, Steve, a lot of people used to, I suppose if you're looking for a relationship or if you're looking for love, I suppose there are many ways of doing it, aren't there? I suppose there are many ways of doing it. Maybe you meet someone by chance. Maybe in the office or the workplace you might meet someone and then fall in love. But of course it's not easy to do. It's not easy to find a person to spend your whole life with, because sometimes people can be a little bit weird and strange or horrible.
Yes.
So
Are you lonely? Are you looking for somebody special in your life? And your parents aren't going to provide anybody for you. You've got to do it yourself because, of course, in some cultures, parents will find somebody for you. Maybe you'll love them, maybe you won't. But if you are looking for somebody, yes. What do you do in your country? What do we do in this country? Yes, we're going to talk about that, Mr. Duncan.
But it is strange that these days, the ways in which people find their partner or look for love has changed from when we were younger, because people used to put advertisements in the newspapers, didn't they? So, man, mid-40s, searching for love with younger woman for mutual interests or something like that. And sometimes they might put their interests underneath. Maybe they like walking or movies or anything really, anything that the other person might have in common. So sometimes when two people have something in common, it means they have things that they can share together. But sometimes, I think, Steve, sometimes it can be a bad thing if two people are very similar. I don't think relationships can actually survive if two people are very similar to each other. What do you think?
Yes, they often say opposites attract. It's a phrase that you hear, don't you? Opposites attract. Because I think I wouldn't like to be in a relationship with somebody that was like me. Maybe if I was the sort of person that was in love with myself, which I'm not, And I've known people that are like that, very narcissistic. They're in love with themselves. You can always tell these people because when you go and visit them in their homes, they've got pictures of themselves everywhere. And it's a little unnerving. And they're always looking at themselves in the mirror. Yes, maybe those sort of people will find it hard to find anybody because they basically want to marry themselves because they're in love with themselves. But for everybody else, then, yeah, I think in a relationship, you want somebody that complements your abilities. You don't want somebody because nobody has very few people are good at everything. And a really good relationship, the ones that really work well, are ones that complement each other. So one partner has certain abilities and the other partner has abilities that the other one doesn't have, and vice versa. So they can work as a team and they can be very successful in that relationship and in what they do in their lives. I think that is the ideal partnership, where two people have a lot of separate talents and abilities and they come together and they use those and find a way of using them to make the relationship and their lives successful.
Yes. So you're talking about two people who complement each other. They sort of go together.
They go together because, if you go have a relationship with somebody who has all the same abilities and attributes as you, well, that might be difficult for that relationship to move forward. And to be successful, because you always hear this other phrase, don't you? For every successful man, there is a wonderful or a successful wife. Forgotten the exact phrase now.
Oh, okay.
Behind every successful man is a woman, or something like that.
Yes,
they always say that.
Yes, that's it. I think the idea is if you have two people who are very similar, they will always clash, because they want exactly the same things. And sometimes it is better if there is a slight variation, and then those two things will go together easier. They will get along, or they will enjoy each other's company.
They complement each other.
Yes, you can share interests, but you can't be exactly the same. I don't think it can actually work.
No,
to be honest.
I don't think that. Well, there's relationships. It depends. Every relationship's different, and we've got different abilities and different things that we can do. I mean, with this live, it just. I think that's what sustains a relationship. I mean, quite often people will meet initially based on maybe physical attraction, but if that relationship is to last a long time, there's got to be more to it than that. Because otherwise, I mean, they often say that good relationships, the people are friends, aren't they? They are
yes.
Best friends.
The wonderful word that I love, or the phrase that I love, is soulmate. Your soulmate. So rather than the physical attraction, maybe what lies beneath in the person's character. And I know it's a little bit of a cliche, and lots of people talk about this all the time when they're looking for love. So you are looking for your soulmate. But I think that is a real thing. I do believe that there is such a thing as a soulmate, a person who you just get along with.
Yes.
So it might be a good friend. So I would say that a good friend can also be your soulmate, just a person you get along with.
Yes.
But I think eventually, if you fall in love, that person will also be your soulmate, because you will share things together. You will tell each other your secrets, your the things that you feel, your inner thoughts, your fears. And I think that builds the relationship over time. As long as you can stand each other for the first 4 or 5 years, then you might then grow to understand each other. So it is, relationships are quite difficult to find, a good relationship or a loving relationship might be hard to find. And of course, as you said, Steve, sometimes they are arranged as well. So in some cultures, there are arranged relationships as well.
Yeah, which can work. It's just different cultures, isn't it? I mean, they can work very well sometimes because it depends. You see, in our sort of Western culture, love is seen as the goal of a relationship. It's you meet somebody, and the idea is that you fall in love, and then everything else of that relationship then will fall out of that.
Yes.
But in other cultures, love isn't the main aim of the relationship. It's just two people who will get on. I mean, they may fall in love, but they might not have to. You don't have to be in love with somebody to have a successful relationship. And I think it depends on your culture for that.
I think so. What I was going to say then as well is that ways in the past that people tried to find the love of their life or a person to have a relationship with. And also, talking of arranged relationships, I was surprised to find out how common it is in China when I was living there. So quite often families will arrange the relationship or the marriage between two people. Not forced, but certainly the family will have a lot of or make a lot of the decisions when we are talking about two people having a relationship. Especially if you have a son who isn't dating anyone, they will often try to find someone for the son. They will try desperately to find someone for him to date. But there are many ways. I suppose in the past we often think of the Lonely Hearts column, or maybe a group of people you could get together with, and you can talk about your interests, and maybe something will happen, maybe not. But of course, these days we have the internet. It is a place where people can meet, can find love, can find that magic relationship. And there are many apps now, aren't there, Steve? So we have them here, don't we?
Yes, we do. There's lots of yes. I mean, there's always been dating agencies. We watched a Carry On film the other week, which was probably made in the 1960s. I mean, there's always been organisations around that will help people find love, because that's essentially what, in most cultures, what people, I don't know about most cultures, but in a lot of cultures, people are looking for love. Yes. And although, as I've said, it's not necessarily a requirement for a successful relationship at all, but it's that's generally in the Western world, and in a lot of countries that's what we look for.
I'm talking about nowadays what we do. So here we have dating applications on your phone. You put your details in, and hopefully the other person or someone will find you and go, "Ooh, I quite like the look of him. He's not very old either. He's not 90. That's good. That's always a good sign. But does he have a car? Oh, he does. He has a car. Ooh.
Well, there you go. Quite often, yes, and that is. Saturino was asking about what is an arranged marriage. What we mean by an arranged marriage is that usually the parents of the two people that come, the parents have got a son or a daughter, and they might know other parents, and they arrange for the two people to meet. And if they get on, they may get married. And that is common in a lot of cultures. And it works, or has worked for, I don't know, hundreds, thousands of years. I don't know all the details, but often that, and quite often a dowry is given, isn't it, Mr. Duncan?
Yes.
So sums of money are exchanged.
Yes. Well, I think that
between the families.
Yes, that's something that does definitely happen in some cultures with some sort of arrangement. It's almost in some cultures, I think it's almost like a business arrangement. It's very similar to what used to happen in royalty as well. With royalty, quite often the son or daughter would be arranged for two children, not related of course, but from different countries, to actually get married later in life, even if they were children. Sometimes it was arranged that those children, as they grew up, would eventually marry each other, and it was a form of bonding or bringing countries together. And it was a very strange time when that used to happen, but it does happen. And sometimes love can just arrive on your doorstep as if by magic, as if it's somehow fate as well.
Yes, I mean, Christina says, I married a person I chose and it went wrong. So arranged or not, you never know. That's true. You just that's it. It depends. Yeah, you find somebody yourself, and I mean the divorce rate is very high in this country, as it is in a lot of countries where you are allowed to get divorced. I think it's something like, I can't remember how many marriages survive. I don't think even half of them survive now.
Well,
I don't know what the figures are.
No, that's obvious.
But I think it might even be more than half marriages don't survive.
Okay.
And of course, it's very expensive to get married. So if you are expecting certain things from your partner when you get married, and those things don't happen, that partner doesn't turn out to be that way, then you might get divorced. Of course, people get divorced for all sorts of reasons. We're not really talking about divorce, but
no.
It's and you spoke about dating apps. Yeah, people use dating apps quite commonly, but those apps, they're not necessarily always for just finding a long-term relationship, of course. A lot of those apps are specifically designed.
Well, just for maybe meeting up for one night and having a night of passion or something like that. So dating apps, and that is really what I was trying to get to the point of about 5 minutes ago. These days, there are many ways of meeting people very quickly, and certain types of dating app. We often think here in this country, I suppose the most popular one here in this country is one called Tinder. And that is where you can literally go through hundreds and hundreds of people. So I've heard.
Well, I hope you've just heard, Mr. Duncan.
People have told me this. I don't know from experience, but apparently you can just go through, and I think you swipe right if you like them, and I think you swipe left if you don't. I'm not sure how it works because I've never used it. You see,
I don't seem to know about a lot about swiping left and right.
Yeah, well, I don't know which though. I don't know if swiping left is rejecting or swiping right is rejecting. I wouldn't
even know anything about that, Mr. Duncan.
No? Well, I don't either.
You know about the swiping bit?
Well, everyone swipes. Some people spend all day swiping on their computer.
Sometimes people swipe their partners, don't they? Yeah, Christina makes a point here. The kings and queens would often marry by arrangement.
Yes.
And of course they would. Yes, they would. Because sometimes it's more about just the individuals. It's about the families.
Yes.
The priority is the family.
Yes. And in those situations with royalty, it was often the bloodline as well. So the bloodline would go in a certain direction. And I think it did happen in the past where people who were, I wouldn't say they were closely related, but they were certainly related in certain ways, would actually get married in royal circles or royal situations. And that's the reason why some members of the royal family, maybe in this country, I'm not sure, why they look a bit strange.
Oh.
So, yeah, you see.
Left is rejection, I think, according to Christina.
So left that way is rejection. And if you go that way, it means, ooh, Well,
we'd like to know more about your experiences, Christina.
Yeah.
Because it's a very sort of new concept, isn't it? Well, it's not new.
No.
But I mean, I've got lots of friends, and Nitram says, well, of course you wouldn't know anything about Tinder. What about the other one? I think I know which one you're talking about.
I know what you're talking. Are you talking about Grindr?
I think you probably are.
Oof. You know what? I could get very offended by that. I could get very offended and walk out the studio and go somewhere and have a cry. But I'm not going to. But I know what you mean, though. Yes, there are dating apps for everyone.
Yes.
Whatever.
Well, you know, everybody seems to be going on these. I mean, even MPs. I mean, you might have read in the news this week that I think at least 2 MPs have been. They were sort of.
Okay, Steve. No, it's just one.
Just
MP.
one. Is it just one?
One MP was going onto a certain website, and. You know what happens? You get very carried away sometimes. You get very excited because you think the other person likes you, and then you start doing things that you probably shouldn't, like sending photographs of yourself. Sometimes in certain positions, and then that person realizes that you are well known, or maybe you are a member of parliament, and then they try to blackmail you. So this one man decided to do that, and then the other person decided to start blackmailing him with information about other members of parliament in this country. So this has been a big scandal, hasn't it, this week?
Yes, it's been on the news. Certain MPs have getting themselves into trouble, one in particular. But of course, we're all human at the end of the day, and they were sort of what people do in their private lives is their own affair, really, isn't it? As long as it doesn't interfere. If people are public figures like MPs, you know, what people do in their private, as long as it's not affecting their job and their judgment.
Yes.
But of course, we love a sex scandal in this country.
Yes, any sort of scandal, especially if it involves sort of something a little naughty, maybe. But of course, there is a serious side to that as well, because it's about security, and this is why I remember watching a very interesting documentary about the Cold War, and when spies were tempted by maybe a beautiful woman or a sexy lady, and they would call that a honey trap, which I always thought was a great
a honey trap. That's a good expression.
A great expression. So something that is attractive, and it's almost like imagine flies or bees going around a pot of honey. It's that same sort of thing, something attractive. But of course, it can work both ways. Maybe a man could be attracted to a woman, and she could then blackmail him. Of course, a man could also be attracted to a man, and he would have even more power over that person, because not only is he having a secret relationship, he's having a relationship with someone of the same gender.
Which is still something that people like to talk about, because it was interesting that they were very keen to point out, and this MP is gay, and he was honey trapped, as we've described, on this dating app called Grindr. But which, by the way, no, I haven't, Francesca. I haven't ever used a dating app. I met Mr. Duncan the old-fashioned way.
That's it.
Face to face.
In a dark, sweaty room.
In a nightclub. But what was I talking about? Yes, but the press, instead of just saying it was a dating app, they have to describe it as a gay dating app.
Well, that adds to the story.
So, because that makes it seem more dirty somehow.
Well, it's it's more provocative.
It's more provocative. So in a way,
Dirty.
it's actually a bit offensive and a bit discriminatory, because they wouldn't have said, if it would have been a straight man, heterosexual
Anyway.
man, they wouldn't have said that he'd been on a straight dating site. They would have just said he'd been on a dating site.
Yeah.
But because he's gay, they have to add this, a gay dating site.
Yes.
And there's no need to do that. It's done deliberately to make people think that somehow he's more, that somehow that MP that must, because it's a gay dating app,
Yes.
the implication is that he's somehow more immoral
That's it.
than if he was a straight person going
Yes.
on a
And
dating app.
let's face
That's
it,
the impression it gives.
Steve, let's face it. Everyone is interested in those sorts of stories. Everyone, even a little old lady sitting at home doing her knitting, even she will be interested in that sort of story, because it's scandal. People like scandals. They love it very, very much.
I mean, our perception of Europe, this is our perception, the perception we get, I don't know how true it is, that if it was a French MP or an Italian MP, somehow people don't seem to be so concerned, the general population don't seem to be as concerned or as interested as we are if their politicians are involved or having affairs or getting involved. I don't know how true that is. Please tell us.
I think you'll find it's just as bad.
Yes, but I mean, over in England, it can end careers. I mean,
Yes. But
prime ministers are having affairs.
We're kind of drifting away from all of the point of this. Is the fact that it isn't him that's causing the scandal. The scandal is other people are being contacted anonymously because that one guy gave them all of this information about other members of parliament. So the real story is the fact that lots of people now are being, well, it's all about safety, isn't it? And security. You have to be very careful these days. If you are a prominent politician or a well-known person or a public figure, then you have to be careful, because there are a lot of crazy people out there.
A lot of crazy people, particularly about events that are going on at the moment.
And safety, of course, even for us, even for the average person who is a nobody like us. I mean, you have to be very careful who you are meeting. If you are meeting a person, you don't tell them where you live and invite them round. You meet somewhere else because you have to make sure you're safe. So this is the problem. Dating apps are a great idea, and I do believe they can work. But also you have to be careful what you do when you are on them, because you might get into all sorts of trouble. I think so.
Yes, I haven't. As I said, we don't really have any experience of dating apps. We were very lucky. I mean, they weren't really around. Well, you didn't have mobile phones when we first met, did we?
As I said earlier, it was in the newspapers.
Yes, newspapers, or you would just meet somebody at work, or you would just maybe you had a hobby and you were in a club and you met somebody that way.
Yeah,
or you went to a party.
I'm talking about if you're looking. I'm on about if you're looking for love, not fate or chance. I suppose. I think if you're looking for love, and there were many ways. Lonely Hearts Club. So people would go along to a certain place where lots of people were looking for love, and maybe they will find the right person there. But it is interesting, isn't it? And of course, it all came after us. It all came after we met.
Yes, because there weren't smartphones. Yeah, I mean, it'd be interesting to know if people watching us today use dating apps and have found the love of their life in a dating app. Have we got any nice, happy stories of people meeting the love of their life on a dating app?
I would say that it's rare, Steve. I think it might be rare because of the transient nature. That's a good word, by the way. Transient. if something is transient, it means it's fleeting. It comes and it goes, as it were. I probably could have used a better phrase to describe that, but there you go. It's out there now.
Yes, Patrick. Hello, Patrick.
Hmm?
Yeah, there used to be computers that would, yes, there would be dating agencies where they had computers, and they would, you'd put all your details in, and then there'd be all your, what you like doing, what sort of person you were looking for, and the computer would match people together, and the agency would say, oh, well, we've gone through all our list of people, and this person has come up as somebody you might like to meet.
Yes, it was literally called computer dating, but you were not on the computer doing it. It was just your details. So there were many ways, but these days I think maybe it's too easy to meet other people these days, Steve. Maybe all of the fun has gone out of dating or trying to find someone. Maybe that's one of the bad sides. One of the bad things about it is the fact that maybe it's too easy to find another person, perhaps. So
it's certainly, I think, very, very easy. If you just want casual sex, it's very easy to meet somebody. So I've heard. I mean, I've got friends that do this.
Okay.
One friend at the moment who's always on, I call it a dating app, but it's just
Yes. Anyway, Steve, this person is probably watching, and they're probably going to come around now and
well,
punch
I'm
you.
not saying who they are.
I think they can guess.
Of course, there are risks associated with that. Of course, you might end up at a genitourinary clinic fairly quickly. Well, but the thing is, I mean, dating apps now are being used by people of all ages. We imagine that dating apps are just being used by young people, but they're not.
No, it's the opposite.
They're being used very much by maybe people who have been in a relationship with a long time and now they've got divorced and then they want to find somebody new.
No, I think I would say that most people that are using dating apps or those apps are over a certain age, maybe over 30 or over 35 plus. Because young people don't need to try and find someone on a dating app because you're young, you're virile, you're vibrant, you are attractive. So I think there's less need or less necessity to do that. But certainly as you get older and you start to look like this, you see, if I was single now, Steve, no one would want this. I would have to go on a dating app.
Unless, of course, you've got lots of money, in which case people would be interested.
Oh, that's a whole different story. A whole different story altogether. But I think it's an interesting topic anyway.
Yes.
Mr. Steve, we are talking about something else in a moment.
Oh, are we?
Yes, we have today's subject. Well, I think I've told you already. Words connected to up and down. There are many. We will go through them very quickly in a few moments. And there are many ways of describing up and down. You might say also that in life, well, maybe there are lots of ups and downs that we can experience as well. So I suppose we can look at those things and we will look at the ways in which up and down can be used. he was, Mr. Steve, doing his lovely lawn. It is an interesting day today. We've had a lot of wind over the past 24 hours, and it has nothing to do with Mr. Steve's stomach, I can safely say. By the way, Mr. Steve is here, for those who are worried. Yes, he's still with us in the studio as we talk about another subject connected to the English language, because that is the reason why we are here. When you think about it, Steve, we are here to talk about the English language with myself, Mr. Duncan, and also my lovely special guest, who is Mr. Steve.
Oh,
as well.
Me.
There he is. How lovely. The live chat, by the way, was quite busy today.
It was. Well, we were talking about, relationships.
Yeah.
So, yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, Nitram says, what a seamless transition from casual sex to ups and downs.
Yes, as it were.
Yeah.
Well, everything has its ups and downs, and sometimes it has its up, down, up, downs. Oh, by the way, we are talking about that right now. Look, there it is now on the screen. Up, down, words, phrases, ways of looking at those particular words and phrases as well. We'll go through these quite quickly because we only have half an hour before we go. It's incredible. I can't believe how fast today's live stream has gone, but it has gone fast. First of all, if we talk about up, Mr. Steve, we talk about raise. You raise something. The direction of something is up. So normally when we raise something, it only goes in one direction, doesn't it? It goes upwards. You raise something. You heighten something. You erect something. Also, when we're talking about direction, Steve, you might go up to someone. You might go up the road. So quite often we can use up in more than one way when we are talking about direction, or maybe the position of something, or when something is going upwards. It is going up. Also, increase as well. If something is increasing, it means the quantity or the amount is going up as well. Raise upwards. You go up. You increase. You progress. Now, I think that last one, Steve, is very interesting, the word progress. Because how would that relate to up? How would you see that, Steve?
Progress. Yes, if you're progressing in life, it means you're getting better. You might be getting a better job. You might be going up the ladder of success, which is often a phrase that is used. Yes, if you are going up if you're going up in the world, you're going up in the world, might refer to somebody who's just got a shiny new car. You might come home in a nice new Mercedes that is much better than your previous model, and your neighbour might say, "Oh, you're going up in the world."
Yes. So we often see. Well, I'm trying to look at progress first of all as a single word. Progress is often seen as positive, a positive word, even though the word itself doesn't seem to be connected to anything positive. So when we talk about progress or progress, it means it is moving forward or up. And of course, the opposite is regress. If you regress, it means you go backwards, you drop, you fall. So something that's going the opposite way. So it is interesting to see that some words that might not appear to be related to the direction of up are actually used. I suppose also we need to mention the prepositions of up, the position of something. It can be up. So when we talk about prepositions, we are looking at the position of something, where it actually is. So the word up can also be used as a preposition. For example, it's up in the loft. We are showing direction. We are showing where something is. As an adverb, Mr. Steve, we can say view or view the action. You climb up. You stand up. So we are showing that something is happening and how it is happening visually. Also, as an adjective, to view something. Maybe you are seeing something, viewing something as it occurs. Maybe the up elevator. Maybe an elevator that only goes in one direction. It goes up. So that is what that thing is used for. An adjective is the quality of something. Or maybe the up train. A train that goes up town. It only goes in one place.
And that's interesting because up doesn't necessarily have to mean going up in elevation. It can mean a direction as well, a direction of travel. That's not necessary. It doesn't mean that the train is going uphill or the bus is going up the street. Up the street doesn't always refer to the fact that it's literally going elevating or the street is on a hill.
Yes.
It just means a particular direction. Sometimes it can refer to north as well. So up can mean north because when you it's a funny concept up sometimes. It doesn't necessarily always mean going upwards. If you're going up a street, it can mean that the street is going in a particular direction towards town, for example.
Yes.
So if you're going uptown, it doesn't mean that the town is on a hill. It just means that you're going towards the town. So up can sometimes give you an indication of a direction of travel.
Yes. It can also signify north and south as well. So maybe town is north. So you would go up to town. Or if you were travelling in a southern direction, you would go down to the town or down to a certain part of the country. Here's another one.
Yeah, so if you live...
we have to move on, Steve.
I was just going to say, sometimes we used to say that a lot. Let's go up to town. Let's go uptown. It doesn't mean that the town is on a hill. It just means you're going in the direction of the town.
Yes. So as an adjective, the view may be an informed person, a person who is knowledgeable about current events. We can say that they are up with the trends or up with what is fashionable. So you can be up as an up person who is up to date. You know what is happening around you. You are a person who is knowledgeable about current things or current developments, especially news items and things like that. We also have some up phrases, Mr. Steve, and you might recognise some of these. To be up on your luck. You can be up on your luck, can't you?
Yes, or you can be down on your luck. But yes, you can be up on your luck, yes. Yes, Christina says up north. Yes, because if you think of the globe, where you are on the globe, north is going. It's like you're going up, isn't it? I mean, the North Pole from where we are seems like it is. You're going up, so that's why that expression's often used. Obviously, it isn't.
It isn't going up
because there's no such thing really as up or down on a global planetary scale. But if you were to look at a globe, you've got a globe somewhere. You can see where England is. North, it looks like you're climbing up to the North Pole, but of course, in reality, you're not. But it seems like it is.
Well, north is up.
Yes, but it's not really, is it? Because you're not having to physically go uphill to get to the North Pole.
No. But the direction in relation to the other thing is upwards.
It's upwards, but of course it's only upwards because that's how we look at the world. We think the South Pole is going down to it, but of course we're not really, because the gravity is holding us all equally on. But it seems like that just from the point of view of looking at maps and globes. But if you what is up and down in the universe, where is up really? I mean, just in relation to where we are, we think north is up because that's the only way we can get our bearings.
Yes.
But of course, if you were to think of the solar system and the universe, there is really no up or down.
A thing is up in the air, something that is undecided. Maybe you haven't come to a decision yet or a conclusion about something. An undecided thing.
Why are you laughing, Mr. Duncan?
Something.
Mr. Duncan's seen something funny.
No, it really isn't. It isn't anything I've seen. So something that's up in the air. What might that be then? Can you give me an example, Steve?
Oh,
and it has nothing to do with the globe or the universe.
It's up in the air. Yes, a decision to I don't know. Two companies are deciding to merge together, and somebody says, "Is it going to happen?" And the reply might be, "Oh, it's up in the air." So it's undecided. So it's a good expression to use. It's up in the air.
It is.
Is Bill and Joan, are they going to get married? Don't know. It's up in the air. It's undecided.
Yes.
Nobody knows. Only they know.
No one knows at the moment. We're going to have to wait and see.
Is Mr. Duncan going to get to 2 million subscribers by Christmas? It's up in the air.
No, I already know the answer to that.
We don't know. Is Mr. Duncan going to become a millionaire on YouTube and buy me an Audi A8?
No, the answer to that is no, definitely.
That may not be quite so much up in the air.
Well, it is decided. No,
are we going to go to another country and meet some of our YouTube fans in June?
Yeah.
Which is why I was asking Francesca when she was going. It's a little up in the air at the moment. It's undecided.
In fact, it's very up in the air because we've made no plans whatsoever. So you might say that a thing that is undecided is up in the air. To look up to someone, I'm sure in life we all have someone, Steve, we look up to, a person we admire and respect. So maybe there is a person in your life, Steve, or even your life out there who you look up to. Maybe a parent, maybe a relative or a friend, or maybe a famous person. You might look up to that person. You admire, you respect that person.
Who do you look up to? Do you look up to Mr. Duncan as an English teacher? Hopefully you would. You certainly don't have to look up to me. But yes, people that you admire, people that you respect, people that you want to learn from, or maybe people that you want to aspire to being yourself. You look up to them. I mean, typically, you'd probably look up to a doctor, wouldn't you? You would see a doctor as a very learned person or a professor, and you would look up to them as somebody to respect, somebody that you wish to be like them, maybe.
Yes. Or if the doctor is a gynecologist, he might look up to you.
That sounds like a joke that Vitas might tell.
You might be on the up, Mr. Steve. If you are on the up, which I'm not, by the way. I'm definitely not on the up.
You are, Mr. Duncan. You are on the up. People want to be associated with people who are on the up. So we have to say that you are, because we want people to associate with you, Mr. Duncan.
Even though I'm not.
He's on the up. She's on the up. If you say that about somebody, it means their life is moving forward. They may be getting promotions at work, maybe getting a big pay rise. They're going to get a nice position on the board as a director or something like that.
So one's fortune is growing. So when we talk about fortune, we don't just mean money, we mean their outlook on life. Maybe things are getting better in their life. They are slowly improving their situation in life. One's fortune is...
You're on the up. Lots of people like you. You've done a good job at work. You've got respect, and the bosses want to promote you. And or people might say, "Oh, that person's going far," as well. It's a similar sort of expression.
To be on your uppers. Now that's me. That's definitely me. If I had to use a phrase that describes me, that's the one. To be on your uppers. To be in a situation where you are broke or penniless or you don't have much money. You are on your uppers. So imagine someone lying on their back with their legs in the air, or maybe an animal lying on its back with its legs sticking up. You are on your uppers. You are flat broke. You are completely ruined. You are on your uppers.
It doesn't mean it's necessarily the end.
No.
It can mean that it could be temporary. Yes, Tatiana's saying, "What's wrong, Mr. Duncan?" Saying you've got a naughty mind. I don't know what that was referring to, but never mind. To be on your uppers, yes. To be broke, penniless. You're not on the up, as in the previous expression.
Here's another one, Steve. If you want to maybe run a car, so this is right up your street, Steve, you have to upkeep that particular thing, the upkeep. So the upkeep can be how much it costs or how much money you need to keep something in good repair or to keep it in a good state or condition. The cost, the expense, and also the maintenance. So the upkeep is looking after a particular thing, especially, well, I suppose cars are a very good example of that, aren't they?
Yes, upkeep. It just means, yes, keeping something up to date, maintaining it. Yes, the upkeep of a car, the upkeep of a garden. Yes, it just refers to, as you say, maintaining something.
Or a house.
Or a house. Upkeep of the house. It just means that you are keeping it clean, keeping it tidy, maybe keeping it up to date. Up to date would be another thing as well.
Yes.
It refers to things that need regular maintenance.
Yes, and quite often there is some sort of cost involved as well. So quite often when there is upkeep, you quite often have to pay for it as well. Put up with something. Oh, this is a good one. I'm sure Steve has something to say about this particular phrase. If you put up with something or someone, you tolerate, bear, or withstand something. You put up with it. For example, Mr. Steve.
I put up with Mr. Duncan. No, it's if you put up with someone, if you're referring to a person, you put up with them. It means that you tolerate them. They might annoy you in some way, but you decide to put up with them. Maybe because you're married to them and you've got no choice, or maybe because sometimes they're not always annoying, but that's an expression that you can use to say that you're, I've put up with them for too. You can put up with somebody for too long. It means you put up with they've been badly behaved.
Yeah.
They've treated you badly for a long time. I've put up with that person for long enough.
Yes.
I'm leaving them. I'm getting
course,
divorced.
It can be something that's irritating as well. You have to put up with something like noise. Maybe your neighbour has a noisy dog that keeps barking all the time.
Yes.
And you have to put up with it. But sometimes you don't want to. You don't want to put up with it. You feel as if you want to say something. But unfortunately, in this world, you have to sometimes put up with things that are very annoying.
Yes. By the way, Christine has given you a lovely donation.
Christina, thank you very much
Yes.
for your lovely donation. A lot of people don't realise that you can leave a small donation right here on the live chat. I think a lot of people don't even realise it, but you can. So if you want to help me with this, and of course I will be working twice as hard over the next few weeks because I have my second channel which will be launched soon. By the way, for those who think that I will be making a lot of money out of that second channel, I can tell you now I won't, because it is not a partner channel. It is nothing. So it has nothing connected to it. So we will see what happens there.
Francesca's used that phrase very well. I put up with my colleagues. Yes, because you are in a place of work that you have to work with other colleagues to get your job done. Unless you leave, the only alternative is to leave if you don't like what they do, the way they behave, the things they say. You have to put up with your colleagues because they're there.
Yes.
They're there. You all have to work together. So, yeah, thank you for that. It's a good use of that word.
Thank you once again, Christina, for your lovely super chat. Thank you very much. That's very kind. Here's another one, Steve. To be uppity. A person who is uppity is a person who is snobbish or fussy, fastidious. Oh, that's a good word. Fastidious. Or maybe a stubborn person who won't change their ways can also be referred to as uppity. It's a great phrase, that. We all know someone who is like that, don't we? We all know a person who is a little bit uppity with their manners.
somebody that thinks they're better than everybody else, a snobbish person. Or maybe they don't necessarily think they're better than everybody else, but they don't like the way other people behave. And they might comment about, oh, did you see the way that Julie was dressed in that meeting? Oh, what a disgrace. Her hair was a mess.
A lot of people who live around here, Steve, are a little bit uppity, aren't they? They're a little snooty, snobbish.
Yes,
I think
exactly.
so. Here's another one. To upend something. To upend something. This is quite an easy one to explain. To overturn something has been toppled, to topple, or to tip over. It has been upended, to upend something. So imagine something being pushed over, or maybe something that has capsized or turned over. It has upended. So I think that's quite a good one. Here's another one, Steve, and then we'll look at some down phrases. To upload something. Oh, we all do this, don't we? Especially these days, we all like to upload our pictures to the internet or maybe to our dating site. But enough about that. To upload something, to transfer something out or send something. So these days we often think of upload as transferring something from yourself. So upload, you put something on to the internet. You upload something to YouTube, for example. And then, of course, we have down. To drop, lower, reduce, decline, sink, and descend. We often think of down as a negative word, and I suppose in most cases it is true. But there are one or two phrases that don't necessarily relate to negative things. And then we have the downward direction. And you mentioned this earlier, didn't you, Steve? You talked about things that are going up. You can have an up, but also things can also go down as well as the opposite, a downward direction. To decrease, to fall. Can you think of any good examples of that, Steve?
Of what, Mr. Duncan?
Downward direction, or falling, or dropping as a direction. Something that's falling, going down.
Water,
Yes.
waterfall.
Salary.
Oh, salary, right? Okay.
Earnings, profit. So maybe a company might see their profit or their earnings going down. Something, of course, might have both, Mr. Steve. Something has its ups and downs. If something has its ups and downs, like everything in life, it can have its good moments and its bad moments. So I'm sure we can think of both of those things, can't we?
Yes, relationships have their ups and downs. They have their good moments, their bad moments. Hopefully, life has its ups and downs. Hopefully, it all evens out and at least is neutral, if not more positive overall. You have to measure ups and downs over a long period of time. It's like the stock market's the same thing. The stock market goes up and down, but you're hoping that the trend is generally upwards over a long period of time, measured in probably years. And it's the same with a job, a relationship. And that's when we tend to change things in life. If there are more downs than ups, then it's maybe time to change something, because otherwise you're going to get sad and depressed.
Yes. So life is full of ups and downs. Learning English is very similar. If you are learning English, there will be days when things are difficult, maybe something you don't understand, and then other days, suddenly it becomes clear and you feel up again. So anything in life, any experience you are having, all these things have their ups and downs. An unstable thing might be up one moment and then down the next. And you just mentioned that, Steve. Stocks, shares in a company. One day it's going up, the next day it's going down. Or maybe it is just staying level. So all of these things, especially unpredictable things, can have their ups and downs. And let's face it, when you think about life, nothing is more unpredictable than that. Here we go. We have some phrases very quickly before we go. To be down on your luck. And I think this is one you mentioned earlier, Steve. So if you can be up, things can be going up. But of course, things can be going down as well. You can be down on your luck. Suffering a streak of misfortune. Have you noticed that? That sometimes in life, things seem to go well, and then suddenly things just seem to go wrong for quite a long period of time. You can have lots of misfortune. So you might find yourself down on your luck.
Yes, the assumption is that the inference from that phrase is that you're getting through life on luck. Of course, most people get through life not on luck, but on hard work. And but of course, you always need a little bit of luck. Or the phrase is often said. What they used to say to me at work when I first started in sales is you make your own luck. In other words, you make your own opportunities by working hard and by constantly doing what you're supposed to do.
Yes.
You will get lucky eventually. But yes, if you're down on your luck, it means that you're not doing so well at the moment, but the implication is that things will get better if you keep going. Because you can't. The other phrase that people often use is 2 steps forward, 1 step back. Because you can't always be going up and successful all the time. Everything you try can't always be successful.
Yeah.
But you've got to try lots of different things to make progress. If you never try anything, then nothing's ever going to work.
Here's another one. To be down in the dumps. To feel sad or depressed. So maybe if you are having a bad time in your life, maybe something is going wrong, you might also feel down in the dumps.
Yes, you might wake up in the morning, I feel down in the dumps. You're just feeling a bit sorry for yourself, maybe a bit sad, a bit depressed might be people use the word depressed a lot, but of course that's a medical term, which is very different to just being in a low mood.
Yes. Here's another one. We've only got about 4 minutes. To be down and out. If you are down and out, it means you are homeless. You have nowhere to live, nowhere to lie down at night to call your own. You are homeless. You are destitute, which is a great word. It's not a great thing to be, but it is an interesting word. So if you are down and out, you are homeless.
Homeless, destitute, like a tramp maybe. Down and out, you've lost your job, your relationship's broken up, lots of bad things have happened to you. You've literally got nothing left. Your relationship's ended, you've lost your job, you've lost your home, you're down and out.
Yes.
Out on the streets. Lewis is off. Lewis is got an up afternoon. He's got some friends that have come round, so hope you have a nice time with your friends, Lewis. Christina says, I sometimes feel down in the dumps. That's a good expression. Yeah, it is. It's one that we tend to use quite a lot if you're got a low mood.
Here's another one. If your earnings are down, it means you are making less money. Again, in business, quite often we will use up and down. If you are making money or having a profit, or if your profit or your earnings are dropping, they are going down, you are making less money. Here's another one. So a lot of these particular sentences do seem to relate to mood, quite often negative moods. So if you are on a downer, it means your mood is in a negative phase. You are feeling more and more gloomy, or maybe you are feeling a sense of hopelessness. Maybe you are becoming a little bit more gloomy.
A bit like being down in the dumps in a way.
Yeah, it's interesting how that's very, very similar.
I'm on a downer. It can of course refer to coming off drugs, but we don't mean that in that respect here.
Do something on the down low. This I was surprised to find out that this can mean something very interesting, which I'm not even going to mention because it might get us taken off. Do something on the down low means a thing that is done in secret without other people knowing. And that's all I'm saying about that.
That's probably more of an American phrase, isn't it? We don't tend to use it in this country, I don't think, so much. But yes.
To do something on the down low. It means something else, but I can't say what it is. If I did, then I think it would be, not good. It wouldn't end well, let's put it that way. To put someone down, human beings often do this in social situations, don't they, Steve?
Yes.
One person will put another person down.
Yes, don't put me down, somebody might say, if you've been criticising them over something, their work maybe their work isn't good enough, and your manager, who's not a very nice person, is telling you that you didn't do that very well, or nitpicking or criticising you over small insignificant things which really don't matter.
Well, this is more generally.
Yes.
So this is not specific. This is generally criticising someone, or you put someone down, especially when that person is not around. We all do it. We all talk behind another person's back when they're not around. You put them down, you say critical things about that person, or of course you criticise them directly to their face. It can happen in life.
Here's a good one from Valentin, which is related to that. To let someone down. To let someone down. If you let somebody down, it means you don't support them. You've stopped supporting them.
You disappoint someone.
Pardon?
To feel disappointed.
You've disappointed somebody. You've let somebody down. Maybe a friend asked you to pick them up from the airport, or pick them up from a party, and you didn't go, and you didn't do that, and they were left there, and they would phone you up and say, "You let me down. You said you'd come and pick me up, and you didn't."
Yes. Normally it's disappointment. So if something is disappointing, you feel let down.
A parent might say that to their child who has misbehaved at school, or misbehaved in some way, and the parent might say, "You've let me down." It's because they've done something that has put them in a bad light.
So this one here, Steve, to put down an animal. Oh dear. So this is not criticising your dog. This is actually euthanizing or destroying an animal. So maybe an animal that is sick or unwell, you put it down. To put down an animal is to end the suffering of an animal's life. You put the animal down, euthanize or destroy an animal. Not a very nice thing, but it happens quite often, doesn't it, Steve? You know, if you've had your dog for many years and it's not well, you don't want it to suffer anymore, you might have your dog or your pet put down.
Yeah.
It is a sad fact of life.
To put them out of their misery, their suffering.
Yes. I sometimes wish for that. To be down in the mouth. Another negative one. A nice, cheerful way to end today. To be down in the mouth is to feel or appear unhappy. And finally, because we love to end on a positive note, to be in a downward spiral, to decline, to slowly worsen. So something is bad and it's slowly getting worse. A person might be in a downward spiral, maybe with their way of thinking, or maybe their health might be in a downward spiral.
Yes, the health is a good way of describing that. Yes, and also a company might be in a downward spiral.
Yes.
Because of whatever reason, bad practices, or hasn't come out with any new products for a while, nobody wants their products anymore.
Yes.
It's in a downward spiral, and the implication is it's going to be very difficult to reverse that.
Yes.
That's quite a very negative. If you're in a downward spiral, it's the energy and the effort required to bring things back up again. The implication is that you will need a lot of energy to bring it back up to where it was.
Yes, that's it. So a downward spiral is a steady decline. Everything is going downwards.
Their health was on a downward spiral.
And that on that positive note,
I've had a few questions which I haven't been able to answer so far. Alessandra asks, what is the meaning of hold up the line? If you hold up the line, do you mean a telephone line?
Well, I think it means hold up as in if people are moving along in a queue.
Oh, yes.
And someone is talking, or maybe they're not moving, you might hold up the line. It means you are causing the line to stop moving.
A blockage.
So a queue of people waiting for something, and maybe you are at the front of the queue talking for a long time. We can say that you hold up the line. It means that the line is not moving.
The rest of the people aren't moving because somebody is, or yes, they might be taking too long. There might be a line of everyone's waiting to have some food, and you're all queuing up, and somebody's taking ages at the front to decide.
Yes.
And somebody might shout out, "Hurry up, you're holding up the line."
Yes.
So that's what that means. And somebody else asked me another question as well, but I can't remember what that was now.
Okay.
Oh, yes. Christina says, I get confused with into and onto the computer. Yes, if something's... Yeah, going into something means you're going inside something.
That's it.
Whereas onto means on the surface, on the top.
Yeah. Well, in that sense, you see, onto is being used as a phrasal verb. You are going onto the internet.
Oh, right.
You are going on the computer. You are going onto the computer. But if you go into your computer, then you might be searching for a particular file in the computer. You go in to the computer, not physically, but just browsing the memory of the computer. So quite often those two things are different. And of course, if you go into your computer, you might actually open the box and have a look inside to try and fix something. So generally speaking, you go onto the internet, you go on the internet, you go on your computer, and in quite often is when you are searching for something in particular, quite often in your memory of the computer or a certain file, something like that.
It is a bit confusing, Christina.
So I hope that's explained it a bit more. Anyway, guess what, Steve? We have overrun by 8 minutes.
Wow.
So
It's been a busy one. I hope you've all enjoyed it.
it's been a busy one today, I'll tell you.
It's been nice to be here, but I'm now hungry. And Mr. Duncan wants a cup of tea. So I shall go into the kitchen and prepare that. And look forward to seeing you all again next week. Yes, I'll be here next week, Mr. Duncan. I can
Yes.
confirm that.
Yes, as long as the world doesn't end tomorrow, we will be back with you next Sunday.
Please let us know when you're going to Romania, Francesca, because that might help us in our plans.
Sounds good to me. I saw that. Thank you very much, Mr. Steve, for joining us. We'll see you next week. Have a good one. And, of course, Mr. Steve will be going back to work tomorrow. You're back to work. You've had a lovely time resting. You've had some downtime. And that's what I mentioned earlier. So the word down is not always negative. So if you have downtime, it means you are resting.
Yes.
You are relaxing. So the word down can be used positively. If you are having downtime, it means you are resting. You are taking it easy. So I hope your week at work, Mr. Steve, your return to work will go well.
I might be on a bit of a downer tomorrow, going back to work. All right then, lovely to see you all, and see you all again next Sunday.
Thank you very much, Mr. Steve. He's going now, because that's it. It's time for Mr. Steve to say goodbye, because he has to go into the kitchen and make me a cup of tea, which is what he's doing now. Thank you, Steve. That's lovely. Very nice. I've enjoyed this. I would say today it's around about 8 out of 10 for today's live stream. About 8. So this hasn't been the best live stream ever, but it's I think it's about 8 out of 10, definitely. Thank you very much for your company. I will be back with you on Wednesday. I'm here on my own, and I hope you will join me for that. And we will do it again, shorter. It's a short one on Wednesday. I will tell you now, it is always a little bit shorter on Wednesday. So that is it. Thank you for watching. Thank you very much for your company today. It's been good. It's been a very busy 2 hours and 10 minutes. Incredible. Back on Wednesday, and I will see you then hopefully live from 2 p.m. UK time is when I'm back with you. And of course, until the next time we meet here, you know what's coming next. Yes, you do. Ta-ta for now.